is Norma Johnson, and today I'm going to talk about the effects of diabetes on your body. Diabetes has been in my family for generations. My father, my grandfather, my mother, and even as recent as 3 years ago, my teenage nephew was diagnosed with diabetes. When one thinks of diabetes, the first thing comes to mind is high blood sugar. Yep, that's correct. High blood sugar can, if untreated, turn into diabetes. Diabetes affects your body's ability to produce or use insulin, which is a hormone that allows your body to turn glucose, which is another word for sugar, into energy. There are symptoms that occur from diabetes. Some of those symptoms are heart disease, stroke, kidney damage, and even nerve damage if you do not manage or catch diabetes early. Diabetes normally affects the body's pancreas, which means that your pancreas either produces a little to none amounts of insulin, which is why your blood sugar or glucose level rises, and it deprives the rest of your body from getting the energy that it needs to run effectively, which can cause problems that affect every part of your body. There are several different types of diabetes. Type 1, which is also called juvenile diabetes or insulin-dependent diabetes, is an immune system disorder. The immune system attacks the insulin-producing cells in the pancreas, destroying the body's ability to make insulin. With type 1 diabetes, you must take insulin in order to live. My father's father had type 1 diabetes, but it developed into type 2 diabetes where he had to take insulin 3 times a day all the way up until he passed away. Some of the complications from type 1 diabetes was nerve damage, and he had to have his foot amputated because he didn't properly eat right, check his blood sugar levels with the glucose meter, and take his insulin like he was supposed to. Another type of diabetes is type 2. It is the insulin resistance. It used to occur in the older populations because my father had type 2 diabetes. It's the result of a poor lifestyle and diet and exercise habits. See, my father did not take very good care of his body. He ate the wrong type of foods, but he did have to give himself insulin shots twice a day. One of the complications from type 2 diabetes that my father endured was going blind. He lost his sight. He later lost consciousness because he entered into a stroke where he had all of his major organs to shut down, and he later passed away. My nephew's diagnosis with diabetes started out very severe. He was hospitalized for over 3 weeks, where the doctors had to figure out how to get his blood sugar level down to a normal rate. He was taking injections 3 times a day before every meal in his abdomen. He had to monitor his blood sugar level with the glucose meter, just like my father and my grandfather, and he had to change his eating habits drastically. He had to remove carbs, and he was not allowed to have excess sugar in his diet. Of course, this is very difficult for him because he was a student in high school, but he adapted very quickly, and he eventually did not have to take the insulin 3 times a day. He only could control it through medication. My mother had pre-diabetes, which can be effectively maintained with diet, exercise, and also carefully monitoring the blood sugar level. She also had to avoid drinking excess sugary diet, such as pop, and she had to make sure that she was not putting sugar into her system. Gestational diabetes is high blood sugar that develops in women during pregnancy. They definitely have to manage their type diabetes by taking their blood sugar level and making sure that they're exercising and eating a good diet. Type 2 diabetes can develop later in the mother if it is not taken care of while she's pregnant. These are just a multitude of different types of diabetes. Diabetes does not have to take over your life. There is no cure for it, but there are definitely some things that you can do to prevent from getting diabetes.